So hi guys, I'm taking a quick look at the sun today. Let's fire up the chat. Or not. Wow. Astro Forum. Videos, Astroforum. Oh, can't find it. Huh? Am I live? Unlisted. Idiot. Unlisted. Public. Let's see if anybody is out there. We're looking at a live picture of the sun. No, a video. Video. One people watching. Alright, let's wait. I'm going to fly over the moon. I will put on some music and let's see if anybody wants to join. So this is the sun today, and I'm just looking for some sunspots and maybe some solar flares that might be visible. So that's what I'm doing. And let's see, dear, I have a playlist. Are you an astrophotographer with a telescope? Mike, hello, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you can hear me now. All right. Maybe kill the music. So we are looking at a live picture of the sun, and I just wanted to test out my gear. So anyway, what you're looking at is the chromosphere layer of the sun. And yeah, I'm trying to see some sunspots or solar flares. Maybe we should first look at some solar flares on the edge of the sun. Some people like RGB. We can also do it in RGB. So here. And shall we stretch it a bit? Let's see if we can find some solar flares. I have to overexpose it a bit, so here we go. Let's look at the edge, and we have Sandro Chiaka. Hello, Sandro. Oh, here we have a flare. The first one. All okay now, yeah. Hi, Widow. Thanks for your time and effort. Carlos, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm watching your chat on my phone. I need like this, like a placeholder for my phone to be able to watch your, to look at your chat while still also looking at you on the screen. But anyway, so here's some nice solar flares here. I noticed that the sun was a little bit high on activity lately. Not necessarily today, but I think a week ago we had some massive coronal mass ejections and solar flares. So I was kind of eager to see what was going on. But at the moment, I don't see a huge solar flare. Unfortunately, we have here some smaller ones. So that's always nice. So guys, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. I will try to look at them and answer what you might want to ask. And yeah, of course, we are close to a full moon also. So if you go outside tonight, you will see, I think, almost full moon. I think Thursday will be full moon. So for folks who are looking forward to that, enjoy. Raja Sharma, I think there was a flare down below as well. So I need to take care. So we have a small flare here. It's a small one. So I'm pretty highly zoomed in on the sun, as you can see. We have some activity here. Vic always joining. Hello, Vic. Still alive? Vic is from Belgium. He's very close. I'm from the Netherlands, so we are neighbors, basically. And yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more, but anyway. The mount seems to be working very well. I'm using the ZWO AM5 at the moment. So that's a new mount I got like a month or two ago. And I'm still testing out that mount. It works very well, I have to say. So here we have a little bit of more going on. Maybe expose it a bit more. Here we go. That's a nice one, I think. Maybe we can stretch it a bit. Ooh, nah. Yeah, maybe. So what do you think? Is this something worth looking at? So, yeah, this would be maybe in size. I would guess 2 Earths, something like that in diameter. This solar flare. This is the highest one, the biggest one I can spot right now. And yeah, these solar flares occur every minute, every day. But still nice to look at, of course. And you never know when a solar flare might be become more massive or eject. So it's always a bit of a guess when you're going to look at the sun what you will actually find. There are some good websites like spaceweatherlive.com. I think it's also made by some folks in Belgium. You can look at actual figures of the sun, the solar flares, sunspots, what's going on there, coronal mass ejections, with all the data, if you like, numbers. So how big is the solar flares? How big are they? How massive are they? The sunspots. Are they likely to produce solar flares? That kind of stuff. You can find that on Space Weather. Okay, I can actually show it to you if you want. Let's do some good old spaceweatherlive.com. It's called. Let's see if I can take you to that website. This is cool. Thanks. This is Tumkur Raghuram. Sorry for mispronouncing your name, probably. Yeah. This is pretty cool. Wonderful. Are you using a solar H alpha filter? Yes, Carlos. This is the... Oh, I didn't write that down in my equipment. I'm so sorry. Let me try to add... It's the Daystar Quark Chromosphere. I've been using that for, I think, half a year now. Daystar Quark Chromosphere. Oh, well, maybe put it a little bit higher here. I think this is... Maybe I will just look at this solar flare for today. Whoa. Down. I hope you can read it. So that's the filter. Actually, it's more than a filter, the Daystar Quark Chromosphere. So it's an H alpha filter indeed. So we are looking at the sun through like the H alpha band of the visible light spectrum. So that's in the red part, basically, of the light spectrum. And yeah, this is a color camera, so I use a Planetary camera. It's called, but you can also use it to do some moon and sun imaging. So I'm using the ASI 678 here. I hope I put that in the description. So yeah, and that allows you to really zoom in on the sun. The Daystar Quark chromosphere has a Barlow of about, I think, 5 or something. So it magnifies your telescope focal length 5 times. So I'm using a 500 millimeter focal length, more or less, 480. So times 5. So I'm at, I think, like 2000 millimeters focal length with an 80 millimeter refractor. And that's a little bit, I would love to have a telescope with a bigger aperture, but then it becomes very costly to look at the sun, even more costly than the Daystar Quark chromosphere. So anyway, we're looking at this cool solar flare. Where are you from, if you don't mind? Celine, I'm fine with that. So I'm living in the Netherlands. If you know where it is, it's like a tiny country in northwest Europe. So it's next to England and next to Germany, actually. So England on the west side, on the left side, and Germany on the right, on the east side, and Belgium on the south, and France. So we are in northwestern Europe with the capital of Amsterdam. And I'm in Utrecht, so that's 30 kilometers from the capital. And yeah, we have sunshine. So it's about 1 o'clock today. I think this is the best view I can get you of that flare. Dallas, Texas. Jerry Winfrey. So what time is it in Dallas? 4.2. Yeah, thanks, Kyle. So then actually I'm at 2000, yeah, more or less. 2000 millimeter focal length. And to be quite honest, that is a bit much for an 80 millimeter aperture telescope, but the sun is so bright. It's very good for some casual viewing and even some photography of the sun. So I'm happy with this setup. Shall we let's see if, I think this is the biggest one, but let's take another round. Take another round. So we're looking at the edge of the sun. So Dallas, Texas, that would be early morning then, or not? So here the sun is already high in the sky. Here we do have some flaring going on. It's like the flare is hanging above the surface of the sun. Pretty cool, actually. It's faint, so I can try to increase the brightness a bit, so you can see it is there. Let me take a look at your chat. Netherlands is very nice. My ancestor came from there as well. Ah, Celine. So do you also know which part? Probably not, or interesting. So Celine, where are you from then? From the US or somewhere else? Jerry, it's 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, that's always, I try to, I would love to do this broadcast a little later on, because I know also a lot of people in the US like live viewing of the sun and the moon. But yeah, I'm of course out of sync time-wise with US. So when the sun is high in the sky, it's early morning for you guys. Yeah, but anyway, maybe some people from Asia are watching, then they will be watching the sun in the evening, so that would be also pretty interesting. Yeah, I think that is the coolest things we saw flaring wise. So let me go back here. I think this is the nice one. Pretty nice. And these flares, so by comparison, I think we can fit, if you look at the diameter of the sun from left to right, then about 110 Earths can fit that diameter. So you can guess a little bit how big this is. Probably 2 or 3 Earth size in diameter. Like if you look at from the top to the bottom of this flare. So yeah, that is like tens of thousands of kilometers or miles if you're from the US. Big. So always quite impressive when you realize that these flares, like they are probably more than the diameter of the Earth in size. There's something going on here a little bit, and sometimes you can, all of a sudden you will see a big flare popping out, but yeah, you have to be a little bit lucky. Let's go back to that. That was the best one, I think. This was the best one. So yeah, we can also take a little tour on the surface of the sun to look for sunspots. And if you if you have any questions, just ask me. Dan, are there any other use cases for the Daystar Quark chromosphere other than the sun? I don't think so. Just correct me if I'm wrong, if you know another usage for it. But it has a very strong like energy reduction filter, because yeah, if you point your telescope directly at the sun, it basically becomes like a magnifying glass. It's the same kind of thing. If you use your magnifying glass in combination with the sun, you point it at the sun, then you can burn your leaves and everything, right? So the same happens when you point a telescope at the sun. So that's my warning. Should have maybe mentioned it. Never look directly at the sun. There are some great, cheap and very expensive aids you can use, like tools. So there are lots of solar filter glasses, like these paper glasses with some good energy reduction filters in it, and then you can watch the sun safely with the naked eye. And there are also lots of filters available for telescopes. So one of the options is to buy like you have a Bader solar filter. They are about $100, something like that. You can put it in front of your telescope, and yeah, then you can look at sunspots basically, but you cannot see the flares that we are looking at here. So this filter has a very specific wavelength and an energy reduction filter built in, and that allows me to do this. Like if I'm like limiting the exposure time now, and you can see now the chromosphere of the sun becomes visible. So that is pretty cool. And when we look at the chromosphere, yeah, here we see it already a bit. Let me try to optimize the view here. So we see some small, some small solar flares, no, solar sunspots here. Let's see if I can stretch it a bit. It's not really working at the moment. Let me try something. Can I do this? And then this? That's a bit better. Maybe I can play around with the stretch. Now this is, I think, the best I can give you. You can clearly see there's some oh, that's so there are some spots that are just on my telescope, unfortunately. I need to look into that. So this thing is the spot on my telescope, but you can here see two in the middle of the screen. You see two sunspots that are visible right now. So, and these sunspots are usually a little bit cooler than the rest of the chromosphere of the sun. And there's a lot of activity going on in these solar spots, or sunspots, I should say. And there's quite often a flare, a solar flare, originates from one of these sunspot areas. Can I maybe reduce the... Yeah, this is a bit better, I think. I still don't recommend using solar filter glasses in front of a telescope. No, they would be too small, Dan. But you have like 80 and 50 millimeter solar filters. I have one. So, where is that thing? So is my webcam on? I think so. So for your eyes, something like this. So these are like daystarfilters.com. This is actually from, it came with the Daystar Quark. So you can put that here in front of your eyes and then you can watch the sun safely. So they are only a couple of bucks. They are not so expensive. And then you can see the sunspots as well. Another cheap solution is actually this solar filter. I am also using quite a lot. So this is a Bade solar filter. I hope you can see it. Well, my webcam is pretty small. Yeah. So that's about $100. You can put it in front of your telescope, and then no worries. You can watch the sun. And the Daystar Quark is a more expensive solution, but it allows you to look at the chromosphere as well. So you see all this activity going on. That's not visible with 80 millimeter solar filter like this one. You need to buy a Daystar chromosphere or a similar, like a dedicated H alpha narrowband sun solar scope. But anyway, too much talking. Let's move around. Let's see. So these are two spots here. Do we see any other spots? Nah, it's a little bit hazy, so it's a bit tricky to see the surface today. But anyway, stylish look. Yeah, maybe I should just go for this. But unfortunately, I cannot see the screen when I put this on. Then it's so black, and when you sit inside, you can't see anything. So works great, but not for a live stream. Right. I don't think we have any other sunspots here. We see a lot of activity in the chromosphere here, so that's nice to see. But not a lot of sunspots. Let's see here, maybe. Yeah. Here's something going on. If you look carefully, you can see, oh, it's phasing in and out. So we have a lot of, like these high clouds are hanging in front of the sun. So you see a lot of wobbling. That's just the atmosphere. And also, we finally have some spring weather in the Netherlands. It has been cloudy for weeks. But now the sun is shining, as you can see. And the earth is warming. And that also creates like more turbulence in the air. So that's also something you see. Like this wobbling is just... sometimes in summertime when it's hot and you look over the road, for instance, you see that as well. So that the trembling, how do you call it? So going back and forth, that's just the turbulence in the air. And that's also why I shoot at 12 or 1. I'm trying to look at the sun at midday because here's another one. This is also solar flare, but it hangs in front of the sun. Can you see it? It's this here. Anyway, and at 12 o'clock, of course, 1 o'clock, then the sun is highest in the sky, and that's the you don't have to shoot through a lot of atmosphere, as compared to shooting at night. So anyway, or not at night, and the sun isn't out, but later on or earlier on in the day. Dan, I meant it more like if the telescope itself doesn't have a filter, the focused sunlight might burn a hole through the glass if you look through the glasses through the telescope. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting thing with the Daystar chromosphere. I think it's like up to 100 millimeters of aperture. They aren't suggesting an extra filter in front of the telescope is needed. So the Daystar Quark, it's not a filter. It's actually a device, and it also has some kind of cooling, or I don't know if it is cooling. It's like getting the wavelength of the chromosphere exactly right. So you have a little knob, and it is powered. So I'm almost sure that also helps to reduce like the energy coming from the sun. But yeah, that's my. I think your camera description is incorrect. Ah, the ASI 1678. Yeah, they're going to launch it in 2023. No. Let's lose the one then. Thank you for noticing. I just put that up last minute, of course. Who was this? Green Cat. Thank you, Green Cat. Poof. That's better. So yeah, this is a big flare. Let me check here. Can I see? I'm looking at the website, like the Space Weather Live website, if they are reporting anything out of the ordinary. There was like a big solar flare at 10 UTC, and now it's going down again. Now, at the moment, it is quiet. We have a 65% of a C-class solar flare. I think we were looking at it actually. Now, you have also like more severe, bigger solar flares. They are called M-class flares and X-class flares, and we only have like a 15% chance today to see a big M-class solar flare, but that's not nothing. That's not nothing. So I'm going to check out the sun for maybe another half hour to an hour. So yeah, if you have the time, you're welcome to join me on that quest. But right now, let's see if it's still there. The best thing I saw was here. Ah, I can't see it because I optimized viewing for the surface. So now I have to increase my exposure again to also look at the fainter solar flares. Here. Okay, maybe I should lose some of the gain. It's always a bit of a... Oh yeah, I also should reset the histogram. Here we are. These are the two flares we started out with, I think. Let's stretch it a bit. Was this it? I think so. I'm moaning. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Also, maybe increase the exposure a bit. No, it's not. I don't see anything more when I increase the exposure than I already seeing. Maybe the brightness. Should I also put that flare in the middle here? Here you are. Enjoy. Other questions. Let's see. Thanks for explaining. Celine. That's very cool, Vic. Vic, you said something cool. A few days ago, I took my best picture of the sun using a proper Bader filter. I saw sunspots, but not the flares. Yeah, that I think, Vic, first of all, congrats. It is pretty cool to see if you are using like this kind of solar filter. This one. whatever. You can see the sunspots, and also because the Daystar Quark magnifies the view a lot. If you use a regular filter with your like 400 or 500 millimeter telescope, or even you also have like zoom lenses. I have where's that thing? I haven't used this one in a while. I actually use it for birding. if it's cloudy, if the sun's not out. Can I show you this one? I don't know if you. So this is a Tamron lens. It's like one of the cheaper zoom lenses, 100 to 400 millimeters. And yeah, you can also put a solar filter in front of a Tamron zoom lens, or like any zoom lens. And yeah, you can see then the full disk of the sun and also the solar spots of the entire disk. So that's pretty cool to do. I've considered a beginner telescope. Any suggestions? Yes, Celine. Then I always am a little bit hesitant. It depends a lot on your budget. It depends a lot on what you want to do with the telescope. Are you going to use it for some casual viewing? Or and do you want to automate the, like, it's not only the telescope, but the telescope of course is, you can put that on a mount. They call it a mount, and that mount you have mounts that are cheaper that you can control manually. So you manually direct your telescope to a certain object in the sky using your mount. But a lot of astrophotographers like me, they prefer a computerized mount. To just, you put in the coordinates of a particular deep sky object. You can do that in different ways, but that's basically how it works. And then the mount automatically slews to the object and starts tracking the object. Maybe when you're just starting out, you want, I think maybe for some casual viewing, I would even recommend maybe starting with some binoculars. 7x50 binoculars. Look at the moon. You will be impressed with the craters on the moon. Look at look at Jupiter. You will see the 4 Galilean moons around Jupiter. That's super nice. And what I did, I think I bought a very cheap. It was like an achromat telescope. It's not great for astrophotography, but for viewing the moon. Yeah, for viewing the moon, it's fine. Right. Anyway, I've considered a beginner telescope. Okay, we had that. This filament is large. Yes, Marco. And thanks for using the word filament. So I can add that to my repertoire. I'm always saying solar flare, but it's, I guess, filament. Can we see the full sun? Yeah, that's tricky because then I need to change the filters I'm using. And then we would only be able to see the sunspots, but not the solar flares. So maybe you can do it in the end. Venus is my favorite. Yes, Celine, if your favorite is Venus, then you are in luck. Yeah, maybe we can talk about that as well. Let me move around also a little bit again. Let's see if there are any other flares going on. So I think it's tonight and tomorrow, or it is Thursday officially, but the moon is almost full already. We'll have a full moon, so that's on the, what is it, the 6th, April 6th. And I think for this month, if we look at the planets, then especially Venus is a very nice planet to watch. It's, oh, let's see here. Is it bigger now? Let me put that here in the field of view so you can see it. Now, Venus is now a very bright evening star. You can see it when just after sunset. When you look west, you see a super bright star. Even before the rest of the stars are out, you can already see it. And yeah, that's because it's not a star. It's it's a planet, Venus, shining very brightly in the western evening sky. So look towards the west above the horizon, you will see it. And if you have really, 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 really good eyes, I would also recommend, because Mercury is one of these days, I think it's like the second week of April, then Mercury is on its farthest distance from the sun. So that basically means that you might also be able to see Mercury just after sunset. Of course, it's closer to the sun as compared to Venus. So if you see Venus in the night sky just after sunset, try also to look down, like look closer to where the sun just set in the evening sky. Maybe you see a little bright dot, and that would be Venus. Very, very difficult to see with the naked eye. Maybe use some binoculars or a small telescope, but definitely it is visible. And Mars is also still very well visible. So if you see a bright orangey star shining in the night, that's not a star. That will be Mars. Anyway. Stargazing and moon gazing. I enjoyed your live Venus on the 23rd. Thank you. Yes, Celine, thanks for joining. I was thinking, yeah, I think, was it? I think was it a month ago already? I think a couple of weeks ago, indeed, like the 23rd, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a very close encounter of Venus and the moon. And in some countries in Asia, primarily Southeast Asia, Venus disappeared behind the moon, and then they were very close together and also visible in other parts of the world. So we could see like a crescent moon in the western evening sky with Venus right next to it. And yeah, it was a beautiful sight. So that kind of thing always makes my heart beat faster. So this is also pretty nice. I like the fact that we are looking at two different solar flares next to each other. Or should I call it filaments? The flare is separated from the sun. Yes, that appears to be the case. And yeah, I read some stuff about it, but I'm not proficient enough to give you a detailed explanation. I'm not like, I didn't study physics. I came into the hobby a little bit later on. Just I'm looking at the planets, the moon, and the stars. So if you want to know how to photograph these things, or how to find them in the night sky with a telescope, or how to use a telescope, you can always send me a direct message, or just subscribe to the channel, where I discuss. Yeah, it goes all places. So sometimes I have a video about, hey, I'm starting to look at the planets and the moon and the stars, and what kind of gear is useful for me. But also some detailed astrophotography stuff. So how can you actually photograph the sun, the moon, the planets, and very nice deep sky astrophotography objects. And one of the things in April is that we can look at a lot of distant galaxies at night. So that's pretty awesome. So I did a live stream earlier this week, but it was very late for me. And it was on a Monday, so not a lot of people watching. About 1,000 people watched that. So I was still impressed. And we looked at some amazing galaxies that were like tens to hundreds of millions of light years away. So that was pretty awesome. But now we're looking at the sun. So these two filaments were great. Let's see if there's an extra one. Oh, here's some tiny stuff. India got the best view, yes. I use an 8-inch f5 Newtonian. And Vic, you have then a big filter in front of it, or not? Or do you mean looking at the night sky? We see some activity here, but it's not as big as the flares on the bottom and on the top right. But as I said, things can change in like 10 to 15 minutes. The sun might look very differently. That's what I also like about the sun. There's a lot of activity going on. Yeah, we started here, eh? There's still, seems to be a bit maybe reducing in size. So I could capture this. Target name, filament. Filament 1. Wait. So I'm going to take a short video. Yeah, I should then maybe reduce the, going to reduce the viewing. Sorry for that. But I can zoom in again. What do you think? Is this a nice picture? I think so. Maybe like this, reduce the brightness a bit. So, all right, now my frame rate is still 27. Let's see. Anyway, let me capture that. Filament. 1 minute. Start. Here we go. So let me take a 1 minute video of this nice looking filament here. And there are some processing techniques available. I won't get into it right now, but you can actually take that video and select the best frames of that video and then stack them together, the best quality frames, to create a nice picture of this solar flare. That would be good for some tutorial videos I could make. Nice. What class levels are these flares? Yes, Celine, I was checking it, and according to Space Weather Live, that's a website that is always reporting the latest information. Oh, it's freezing up. I need to check what's going on. There's something. Yeah, that's not so important for the live stream. But anyway, what did I want to? I wanted to say something. Yeah, how big are these solar flares? So right now they are C class. So they're they have to that's a normal flare, I would say. You have A and B. Then the sun is really quiet, no flares visible, basically. And then we have a C-class solar flare, is a small visible flare on the sun, and so the website reports C3, so they have C1, C2, C3, and the highest one in the last 24 hours. There's some people apping me. The biggest one was C1.1, but when we look at 3 days, let's see. C3.4, that was a higher one. Is there also? Not exactly sure how this works. 6 hours, 2 hours, zoom, 3 days. Anyway, C class. May need to focus. No, it's the haze. I already focused as much as I could. we have some haze in front of the sun, so that's why it's not very. And we are also zoomed in on like 2,000 millimeters. So let's put it out here. What do we name the filament? Yeah, C-class filament or C-class flare is maybe not a very sexy name. So if you have any suggestions, bom dia in Brazil. Bom dia. And who are you? Carla Monique. Welcome to the live stream. We're looking at the sun. I liked it. Maybe the two here, over here. Let's go up again. This one and that one. Going to take a video of that as well. Pretty cool. A name with flair, not flare. Oh. That's a higher level English for me. I'm not a native speaker. And a name for a flare with some flair? Yeah. My hard disk on my I have a little PC that is actually on the bottom of the telescope. So I'm streaming from that little desktop PC, but it's not very fast, especially not when I'm going to record something. I should add my external hard drive to that PC. So my external hard drive is a little bit faster in writing down all the information when I take a video. But anyway, that's my problem. Not yours. So let me check. When did I start? I can't really see it. Oh, here. So it's almost an hour already. Almost 1 hour. It is cool, eh? Yeah, I need to do some stuff today, but I thought, well, let's take a look. Yeah. Marco Cambrai, filaments are always on the edge of the sun due to the magnetic field of the sun. Aha. But there's always an edge, right? I mean, so it's a ball. So where's the edge? But I think we can see it because this is the edge as from the perspective on Earth we are looking at the sun, so we definitely see like the edge of a ball in the sky. And that's why, like against the backdrop of space, we can see these flares much better as compared to when these flares are happening like in front of the disk. But that's what I said before. So what we can do is zoop, reduce the exposure time, and that's the nice thing about that expensive Daystar Quark Chrome Sphere filter I'm using. We can then actually also look at the granulation here, the how do you call it? Like the grainy chromosphere layer of the sun, and sometimes you can also see some. Are you then also calling it filaments or flares at least? So let's see if we can find a flare in front of the sun, so that I can show you what I mean. Check. Maybe a bit brighter. tricky. Let's just do this. Maybe I do need to adjust it a bit. Always when I think I'm out of focus, I'm going outside and I try to refocus, and then I come to the conclusion that I was in focus anyway. But maybe this time I could try to focus a bit better. I'm going to check out if I can increase my focus. I'm going towards the edge. Can we see something here? Yeah, maybe here. So I can concentrate on the edge of the disc. I'm going to try to refocus a bit. Maybe I might as well just give you the view of the flare then. I'm going back. So I will be right back. Hopefully with a better focus. But I don't think we can get much better than this. But I will try. The flares were over here. Yeah, of course we need to increase the exposure then. Oh yeah, that's not... Okay, anyway. Let's reset this. Brightness down. Be right back. Let's quit the camera. Yeah, this is about the best I can get. Oh, my tracking. What's happening? Oh. Oh, tracking is off. Okay. Why is my tracking off? Oh, guys, something happened. So that's why I'm not doing any adjustments during the live stream. For some reason, it stopped tracking the sun. And I can't get it back on. On and off. Huh. Let's see if I can reopen. Otherwise, this is the end of the stream. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, maybe I can press a T. Well, let's see. Guys, that was a stupid move. For some reason I touched something, so now I'm disconnected to my mount. Help! Oh yay. I can't go back, I think. Yes, why can't I see it here? This one. Connect. Yeah, no, it's switching on and off. There's something wrong with the connection. Guys, this is it. I shouldn't have gone to I shouldn't have gone to the telescope to readjust. I think I hit something, the connection with the mount. So, but anyway, we got a nice look at the sun with the Daystar quark. So I'm putting myself here. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more live views of the sun or the moon, or you want to know more about stargazing and astrophotography, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching, for some of you very early on in the morning, and see you around. About stargazing and astrophotography, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching, for some of you very early on in the morning, and see you around.